So guys, welcome to VRD Nation. This channel is hyper focused on Indian traders and investors where we take one topic at a time and explain it nice and slowly using practical real life examples, case studies, and of course, real life trades. So if you're new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe. Now this particular video is very special to me because I'm going to talk about my first love in trading, that is Bank Nifty. So I started my trading journey in stocks, right? So for a very long time, I used to just trade in stocks. Then one fine day, I decided that I want to trade in Bank Nifty. I don't know exactly why I decided that, but I decided that I wanted to do it. And that day happened to be a turning point in my journey as a trader because the kind of excitement, the kind of confidence that I felt trading in Bank Nifty, I had never felt that kind of a confidence trading in individual stocks, right? So that gave me that boost. And from that point onwards, for a very long time, I just used to trade in Bank Nifty, right? For a very, very long time, no stocks, no index, nothing else, just Bank Nifty. Now things have changed a little bit. Things have become a little bit more balanced, of course, which is how it should be. But that love is still there, right? As you can see that even till date, I trade in Bank Nifty. So these are the trades from today. So I do trade in Bank Nifty even till date. But my relation with Bank Nifty has evolved into more of a love-hate kind of a relation, right? So this is another interesting topic for some other day. But this particular video is not about that. In this session, we will understand everything that you need to know about Bank Nifty, right? We will talk about each and every aspect of Bank Nifty that you need to know both as a trader and as an investor. So you're going to really learn a lot. So just keep watching. So let's start with the most obvious question, that what is Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty is an index that tracks the performance of the banking stocks. Plain and simple, right? It just tells us if the banking stocks are moving up or moving down. But just because it is simple to understand doesn't mean that it is not important. So let's say, for example, somebody asks you that how is the banking sector performing, right? So what would you do? Will you go and check out the performance of each and every banking stock out there and put all that data together and come up with a consolidated number of how the banking sector is performing? No, right? And that is why it is much more easier to look at an index rather than looking at the individual stocks. For example, right here, you can see the history of past 20 years of how the banking stocks have performed, right? So using this one chart, I can see so much, I can understand so much about the banking sector. I can see, for example, that this sector has grown 16 times in the past 20 years. Although the ride got a little bit rocky because of the COVID crisis, but then it is still back on track. So you can see how easy it is to track the performance of the banking sector using an index. Now, who created Bank Nifty, right? Somebody must have come up with the idea of creating a Bank Nifty or creating an index like this. Well, National Stock Exchange did, right? So National Stock Exchange created Bank Nifty to track the performance of the well-established banking stocks. And not just for the banking stocks, NSE has created indices for pharma, for auto, for IT, for FMCG, right? So they have created a bunch of more indices for tracking the performance of individual sectors. And of course, they also have broader market indices such as Nifty and Nifty Midcap as well, right? So basically, with the help of all these different indices, investors such as you and I, we can track how these individual sectors are performing. But then the question arises that why is Bank Nifty so popular, right? So we keep hearing about Bank Nifty so much, but we don't keep hearing about pharma or IT for that matter, right? So in fact, right here on YouTube, there are thousands of videos talking about Bank Nifty strategies, Bank Nifty expiry day, right? So there are so many different videos about Bank Nifty, but you will hardly have any video talking about pharma or metal or IT. So why is that? What is so special about Bank Nifty? Well, there is a very good reason why Bank Nifty is so popular. And I will come to that later in this video itself. But let's understand some of the basics about Bank Nifty first. So going back to Bank Nifty, let's answer which companies are included in this index. So Bank Nifty comprises of these 12 banking stocks, right? So I'm sure you know most of these stocks, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, right? So we are all aware of these big banking stocks. But then a question arises that if Bank Nifty is an index of the banking companies in India, then why is NSE only selecting 12 companies, right? Why are they not selecting all those hundreds of companies? Well, there are two reasons. Number one, not every bank in India is listed on the stock exchange. So if a company is not listed on the exchange, it can practically not be part of the index, right? So that is one practical reason why a lot of these companies, they are not part of Bank Nifty. But then you can ask that there are so many other companies that are listed on the stock exchange, but they are still not part of Bank Nifty, right? So for example, Union Bank, IDBI Bank, Maharashtra Bank, Central Bank, right? So these are all listed banking companies, but they are not part of Bank Nifty. Why is that so? Well, this is where you need to understand that Bank Nifty is not an index of all the listed banking stocks. It is an index of best performing, market leading, highly liquid banking companies in the Indian stock market, right? So NSE is basically telling us that I'm going to look for the best and the brightest of the banking stocks and put them in this Bank Nifty index. And by the way, there is no fixed rule that once you are part of Bank Nifty, you will always stay part of Bank Nifty, right? So these 12 stocks that you see right now on your screen, there is no rule saying that they will always be part of Bank Nifty, because NSE constantly evaluates the performance of these stocks. And if a stock starts to underperform, NSE kicks that stock out of Bank Nifty and incorporates another company which is performing better. So one perfect example will be that of Yes Bank, right? So Yes Bank was once part of Bank Nifty. It was doing very well. But once it started going down the hill, NSE kicked Yes Bank out of the index, and then it incorporated other growing banks such as Bandhan Bank and AU Small Finance Bank, right? So this process of evaluating which company should be part of Bank Nifty and which company should not, it is called index rebalancing, and National Stock Exchange does it 2 times in a year, right? Once in March, other is in September. NSE decides which stocks should be part of Bank Nifty and which stocks should not. Now let's try to understand a very important concept, and that is, how is Bank Nifty calculated? So right now we know that these 12 stocks are used to calculate the value of Bank Nifty, right? And as of now, Bank Nifty is at 35,000. But how is this value of 35,000 derived? Are we just taking the price of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, combining them, adding them, multiplying them, dividing them, right? What exactly is going on behind the scenes to come up with a number of 35,000? So for understanding that, we first need to know that for any index, there is something called as a base date and a base value. The base date means the first date from which the index has been tracked, and the base value means the value which was assigned to the index on that particular date. So for Bank Nifty, NSE chose the base date of 1st January 2000 and gave it a base value of 1000. Now they could have given some other base value as well, but exchanges typically choose a easy round number as a base value because it's easy for comparison. Now from this date onwards, NSE calculates the value of Bank Nifty based on the changes in price of these 12 banking companies that are part of Bank Nifty. But not every bank has the same weightage, right? So bigger companies such as HDFC Bank, they have much higher weightage as compared to smaller companies like, let's say, Punjab National Bank or RBL Bank. So NSE basically assigns the weightage of each of these stocks using a methodology called free float market capitalization. So based on this particular methodology, NSE basically says that HDFC Bank is a much bigger bank, so I'm going to give it a weightage of 27%, and ICICI Bank 21%, Axis Bank 14%, and so on and so forth. But you know, all these concepts are still concepts, right? We need to see the actual calculation to be able to make sense of this. So let's do one thing. Let's take one practical example from today and see how we can arrive at the exact price of Bank Nifty using the price changes in these 12 stocks. So yesterday, Bank Nifty closed at 33,334.55. And this is how each of these stocks have moved individually, right? So HDFC Bank went up 4.5%, ICICI Bank went up 3.86%, and so on and so forth. So now using this percentage change, let's calculate the value of Bank Nifty at the end of the day today. So HDFC Bank went up 4.5%. And since its weightage is 27.41%, we can say that the percentage contribution that HDFC Bank is having to Bank Nifty today is 1.23%, which is basically the multiplication of these two. And 1.23% of what? 1.23% of the previous closing price, which was right here. When we take 1.23% of yesterday's value, we arrive at the point contribution that HDFC Bank is making towards Bank Nifty, which is 410.4. Now today is one of those days where every banking sector went up, so the point contribution is positive. But on most of the days, you will see that some banks will go up, some banks will go down. So if the stocks went up, their point contribution will be positive. And if the stocks went down, their point contribution will be negative. And when we add the point contribution of all these 12 banks, we get to the total points contributed, which in this case is 1272.3, right? So now it's very easy to calculate the value of Bank Nifty. So today's closing price of Bank Nifty would be yesterday's value plus today's total point contribution, and we will get to the value of 34,606.9. So guys, this is the logic of calculation of Bank Nifty. But some of you might be wondering that, okay, how frequently is Bank Nifty calculated, right? Is it at the end of the day, like the example that we just took? And the answer is no. The value of Bank Nifty is actually calculated in a real-time basis, right? So every second, in fact, every microsecond, each of these stocks during the trading hours, when they change their value, change their price, the value of Bank Nifty also changes according to that. So here, for example, you can see how the value of Bank Nifty is changing every second. Okay, now let me switch gears and answer a very common question that beginners ask, that can we buy shares of Bank Nifty? But the thing to understand here is that Bank Nifty is an index. It's not a stock. It's not a company. It's an index. So while I can buy shares of, let's say, HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank or State Bank of India, I cannot buy shares of an index because it is just a calculated value. But does it mean that we cannot invest in Bank Nifty? So although we cannot directly buy shares of Bank Nifty, we can invest in index mutual funds and ETFs that follow Bank Nifty as their benchmark index. So these index funds, right, their only job is to mirror Bank Nifty, right? So they buy the same stocks in the same proportion as Bank Nifty and essentially give you the similar kind of returns like Bank Nifty, a little bit here and there, but mostly similar. And these are some of the ETFs and the mutual funds that follow Bank Nifty. So if you want to invest in Bank Nifty, you might want to consider one of them. Okay, so far we have discussed all the basics about Bank Nifty, right? But remember I said earlier that Bank Nifty is much more popular than other indices for a very good reason. So the reason Bank Nifty is so much more popular than other indices is that we can trade Bank Nifty, right? So we cannot trade other indices such as Nifty Pharma or Nifty IT or Nifty Metal or Nifty Auto, but we can trade Bank Nifty. So that brings us to the next question, that how do we trade Bank Nifty? So there are two ways we can trade Bank Nifty. One is through futures and other is through options. So let's start with futures. So let's say, for example, you are bullish on Bank Nifty. You believe that Bank Nifty will go up. So what you can do is you can buy a future of Bank Nifty. And if you are bearish, you are expecting Bank Nifty to go down, you can sell or you can short the future of Bank Nifty. The other way is trading in options, which is what I do most of the time. So as you can see here, these are some of the trades that I took. So there are tons of ways to trade in Bank Nifty, but I think the real question to ask is that should we be trading in Bank Nifty or not? Well, that is where my love and hate relation with Bank Nifty comes in. Based on my experience, I have some interesting insights and experience to share, but I think this particular video is not a right place to do that because it's going to be too long. Maybe in subsequent videos, we'll talk about the pros and cons of trading in Bank Nifty. But as of now, let me tell you guys 3 very important points about Bank Nifty. Number one, about 90% of weightage of Bank Nifty is from the private bank. So as you can see from this particular screen right here, we only have 2 public sector banks, State Bank of India and Punjab National Bank. And apart from that, all the other banks are private banks. Now, this is not a new trend. This is a trend that we have been seeing for the past 20, 30 years, that slowly but surely the significance of the public sector banks is decreasing and that of the private banks is increasing. So this is one trend that you have to keep in mind. But the problem here is that even though a lot of PSU banks are not in the index, they have a huge customer following, they have a huge retail network in rural areas. And because of that, I believe that Bank Nifty may not necessarily be reflecting the state of economy or the state of banking sector in general, because they are intentionally ignoring the PSU companies. Number 2, HDFC Bank is the king of Bank Nifty. So if you take a look at the weightage of all these banking stocks out there, you can see that HDFC Bank clearly has a much higher weightage as compared to any other bank out there. And even though I know that ICICI Bank is trying and Axis Bank is trying, and I'm sure that Uday Kotak is trying very hard to get up there, it has been very hard for any of these banking companies to go as high as HDFC Bank. And I don't see that situation changing in near future. What that basically means is that if you are a trader who wants to trade in Bank Nifty, you always need to keep an eye on HDFC Bank. And number 3 is Bank Nifty is a very volatile index, right? It's not an easy index to trade. It can go up 300 points, it can go down 300 points, and that can happen within a matter of 5 minutes also. So if you intend to trade Bank Nifty, you need to understand Bank Nifty very well. You need to be able to handle the volatility that comes along with Bank Nifty. So guys, with that, I will just leave you with one very useful website where you can go and learn more about Bank Nifty, and that is niftyindices.com, where you can not only learn about Bank Nifty, but you can also learn about a lot of other indices that are going to be very useful to you in both your investing and trading journey.